Welcome back everyone. Following a convincing win over Portland, albeit being against a rebuilding team, the Lakers have gotten back to 500, though that has definitely not been the topic surrounding their team after that game. Rather, many have been pointing to the body language of two Laker players in particular, with those two being Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell, both of which appeared to be a bit off last night for whatever reason. Now, I'm not talking about the way they played, as I think we can all agree they played pretty damn well last night, with that being particularly true for D'Lo, but a few viral clips have been floating around regarding their body language. And well, if I had to describe them with one word, I would probably have to go with either sad or maybe even disappointed.
Couple of different fast break opportunities. The first one, throw the ball off the ground, LeBron alley-oop, and the second one, have the kind of nasty dribble move where you finish yourself. I imagine that's just instinctual, kind of hits you at the moment, but can you take me through those two plays?
Just having fun. I mean, that's what we all dreamed of doing. You know, you go back to growing up, you practice moves, you try things in your backyard. Never thought you'd actually be able to get the chance to do it. Never thought I'd be able to throw a bounce pass lob to LeBron James in the game. So things like that just keeps you young, keep you enjoying the game. It's just fun.
Again, we have no idea what's going on here for sure, but many believe they look that way due to them being told they're going to be traded. And if not traded right now, then likely before the trade deadline. Who knows if that is really the case here, but it theoretically would make sense. They have both been included in trade rumors for well over a month now at this point, and are two of the team's most tradable contracts too. With that in mind though, will it really end up happening? Or even apart from that, should they be willing to trade them? We'll talk about exactly that during today's video. Before we get too far into it though, I would like to invite you to join our NBA Discord. If you enjoy having NBA or Laker-related discussion, being updated on NBA news, or chatting with other NBA fans during live games, then I guarantee you would enjoy it. Or if you don't have Discord, then feel free to follow me on Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it to hear my thoughts on everything NBA related. There will be a link for both of them in the video description down below. But without further ado, let's get back to today's topic. And beginning with D'Lo, I think it's pretty weird if they're looking to trade him right now. I mean, to say the guy's on a hot streak would be putting it lightly. Not only did he lead their team in points, assists, field goals, and 3-point shots made last night, but he has been absolutely lighting it up lately, averaging over 27 points on 55% shooting from the field and 53% from 3 during their past 5 games. Or even if you want to take that throughout the entire month of January, D'Lo has still been putting up over 22 points while shooting about 50% from both the field and 3-point line, being the perfect third option for LeBron and Anthony Davis while doing it. Now, he obviously has not been doing this for the entire season, but I think a big part of that has been the role they've given him, and I think we can all agree that's been a rather inconsistent one too. I mean, if we go through it, he began the year by being a part of the team's starting lineup, though even then he did not get to play nearly as much point guard as he did last season, but then he got moved into playing a pretty much full-time off-the-ball role with LeBron playing point guard, followed up by him being moved to coming off the bench, and now he is back within their starting lineup. A pretty wild ride for a role player within only about 40 games. And yet, D'Lo has found a way to give them what they needed at the perfect time. When everything seemed to be falling apart for them, D'Lo found a way to give them a much needed spark. Again, they obviously have a long ways to go yet, but they will be in a much worse situation without D'Angelo Russell, and you would be lying to yourself if you don't believe they would be. Don't get me wrong, D'Lo has been far from perfect, but it's really hard to be mad what he's done for his contract value. We are not talking about a max contract player here, let alone even a $20 million contract guy. D'Lo is making only $17 million this season. And when you compare that to other guys around the league making around the same amount, very few of them compare to what D'Lo is doing right now. Other than Lauri Markkanen, who is without a doubt going to be a max contract guy very soon, I don't think you would pick any of them over D'Lo. Yes, you are going to get bad games from him here and there, but that will happen with almost any role player, and especially one making under $20 million. But if you're mad about a guy making $17 million while putting up 16 points, over 6 assists, shooting 48% from the field, and 41% from 3, then I really don't know what to tell you. If we are talking about him being worth his contract, let alone even being valuable to their team, I think it's pretty clear that he is. And there is no guarantee they would be getting a guy in return for him that would be. I mean, if you're talking about trading him for Zach LaVine, for example, which would also have to include another contract like Rui Hachimura with him, you would be getting a guy making over $20 million more for only slightly better production, and I think we often tend to overlook that. I've said it before and I'm sure I will again, but it is going to be very difficult to find equal value for D'Lo in a trade, and if they don't get it right, then it could very well be the downfall of this team. We watched what happened when they got greedy for a quote-unquote upgrade back in 2021, which of course led to them trading for Russell Westbrook. And while I'm not saying that'll happen again here, as I really do hope they learn their lesson, that is something to keep in mind here. At the end of the day though, it really does appear that they are looking to trade him, and the primary reason for it likely comes down to a mix between his contract, along with them having a need for more backcourt defense. In my opinion, if Gabe Vincent had been healthy and playing well, this would probably not be happening, as he could be that two-way backcourt player that they're looking for. But unfortunately, that does not happen to be the case, and they simply don't know if he'll be healthy again this season. And with that in mind, I think it's fairly likely that they do end up trading D'Lo. They unfortunately cannot get that two-way production from either him nor Austin Reeves, and then again, they cannot rely on Gabe Vincent at this point either. However, it is going to be very difficult to find a true upgrade in return for him. Rebuilding teams don't want D'Lo, and then contending teams are afraid they might walk in free agency, all of which has a negative effect on his trade value. Now, maybe they'll get lucky and find somebody that feels differently, but I'm not too confident in that happening. And if they're including their only tradable first-round draft pick with D'Lo, then they better be getting a noteworthy upgrade. Moving on though, how about Rui Hachimura? A fan favorite and one that made a big impact for them during the postseason. He unfortunately has not been able to replicate that during this season, though it's not entirely his fault. Much like a majority of their other role players, Rui Hachimura has had a constantly fluctuating role, along with dealing with multiple injuries too, and that has made it difficult on him to find a rhythm. Though the other big issue here is with him having a somewhat replicable skill set to LeBron, with that being their preferred matchup on defense, along with how they like to operate on offense, and that can make it difficult for them to play together during certain matchups. Now, I don't think it's a huge problem, but I do understand why it could lead to them at least thinking about trading him, and then with the other reason being that he's not quite played up to his current contract. I really don't think he's that far away, but I think you could make an argument for there being a better value available for around that price, and especially with them having a need for a legitimate 3-and-D guard or wing, something that Rui Hachimura is unfortunately not. Again, I for one am not advocating for them to trade either him nor D'Angelo Russell, but I do understand why they might be trying to do it. Do I agree with their reasoning? Not fully, and not even close if I'm being honest, though I do kind of get it. With all of that being said though, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the possibility of D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura being traded? And do you think their body language last night indicated that they will be? Comment your thoughts down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.